You've been excited about something for weeks. Maybe it's a creative project, or learning a new skill, or finally organizing that space in your home. You think about it often. You even feel a pull toward it. But when you have the time, you open your phone instead. Or you clean something that doesn't need cleaning. Or you suddenly remember a task that wasn't urgent 5 minutes ago, and the thing you actually want to do just sits there, waiting. This isn't about laziness. It's not even about lacking discipline. It's about something far more specific and far more uncomfortable to admit. We've been taught to believe that procrastination happens when we don't care enough, that if something mattered to us, we'd just do it. So when we avoid the very things we claim to want, we assume something is wrong with us. We tell ourselves we're unmotivated, distracted, or broken in some fundamental way. But that explanation doesn't hold up, because the things we avoid aren't random, they follow a pattern. Think about what you procrastinate on versus what you don't. You probably don't procrastinate on scrolling through your phone. You don't delay watching a show or opening a snack. These things happen almost automatically. But the creative project, the thing you said you'd start this weekend, that gets pushed back again and again. The difference isn't how much you want them. The difference is what they ask of you. Research into human behavior reveals something most of us would rather not face. We don't avoid things because they're hard. We avoid things because they matter. The more something reflects who we want to be, the more threatening it becomes to actually attempt it. Because attempting it means risking proof that we're not who we thought. A hobby you never start can't fail. A skill you never practice can't reveal that you're bad at it. The book you never write can't be rejected. As long as it stays in your head, it stays perfect. This is why you can spend 3 hours researching the best way to start something and never actually start. Why you can buy the supplies, set up the space, make the plan, and then walk away. It's not preparation, it's protection. You're keeping the idea safe from reality, and your brain is helping you do it, because your brain's job isn't to make you happy. Its job is to keep you safe. And safety, to your brain, means avoiding situations where you might be exposed as inadequate. Let's say you've always wanted to learn an instrument. You imagine yourself playing and it feels good. But when you sit down with the instrument, something shifts. Suddenly you're aware of how bad you sound, how clumsy your hands feel, how far you are from the version of yourself you pictured. That gap between who you are and who you want to be becomes unbearable. So you stop, not because you don't want it. Because wanting it and failing at it is worse than not trying at all. This happens at work, too. You have an idea for a project that could actually showcase what you're capable of. But instead of proposing it, you wait. You tell yourself you need to think it through more. You focus on smaller, safer tasks that no one will notice or judge. Because if you put yourself out there and it doesn't land, that says something about you. But if you never put yourself out there, you never have to find out what it says. Your phone knows this about you. So does every app designed to hold your attention. They don't ask anything of you. They don't require you to be good at something or risk being seen. They just offer you a little hit of stimulation with no stakes attached. So when you're faced with the choice between doing something that matters and doing something that's easy, your brain nudges you toward easy. Not because you're weak, because you're human. The uncomfortable part is realizing that the version of yourself you've been protecting might not even be real. You've built an identity around being someone who could do this thing, if only you had the time, or the energy, or the right circumstances. But you do have the time. You've had it. You've just been spending it on everything else. And the possibility that you might try and still not be good enough is so threatening that you'd rather not know. You'd rather keep the fantasy intact. This doesn't mean you're lying to yourself about what you want. You do want it, but you also want to avoid the feeling of being judged, especially by yourself. And between those two wants, the need to avoid discomfort almost always wins. Because discomfort is immediate, the reward of doing the thing is distant and uncertain. Your brain wasn't designed to prioritize distant rewards. It was designed to prioritize right now. Here's what makes it worse. The longer you avoid something, the bigger it becomes in your mind. What started as a simple idea turns into this massive thing you've been putting off for months. Now it's not just about doing it. It's about facing the fact that you haven't done it. Every time you think about starting, you also think about all the times you didn't start. And that weight makes it even harder to begin. You're not just starting a project. You're confronting your own pattern of avoidance. And that feels unbearable, so you create little rules for yourself. You'll start when you have a clear weekend, when you're less stressed, when you finish this other thing first. These aren't real conditions. They're delays dressed up as logic, because there will always be something else. There will always be a reason to wait. And waiting feels better than trying and discovering you're not as capable as you hoped. The version of this that nobody talks about is how much we use busyness as a shield. You're not avoiding the thing you want to do. You're just so busy with everything else. Look at your calendar. Look at your task list. You barely have time to breathe, except you do have time. You're just filling it with tasks that feel productive but don't require you to risk anything. Because being busy is socially acceptable, being scared is not. This isn't about calling yourself out or feeling worse. It's about recognizing the actual mechanism at play. You're not broken. You're not uniquely flawed. You're experiencing a very normal response to the threat of being evaluated, even when the only person evaluating you is yourself. And understanding that doesn't fix it, but it does take away the layer of shame that makes it worse. The pattern doesn't mean you'll never do the thing. It just means that when you do, it won't be because you finally got disciplined or motivated. It'll be because something shifted. Maybe the fear of never trying became bigger than the fear of trying and failing. Maybe you got tired of your own excuses. Maybe you just had a moment where you stopped thinking and started moving. But it won't be because you overcame some moral failing, because there was no moral failing to begin with. You put off the things you want to do because doing them makes them real, and making them real means finding out who you actually are, not who you think you could be. That's not a comfortable thing to face, and your brain would rather protect you from that discomfort than let you chase something uncertain. It's not laziness, it's not weakness, it's just your mind doing what minds do, keeping you safe from the possibility of not being enough.